go.
Addicted. That's the nothing personal word of the day. It is Thursday, May 16th, 2024. And nothing personal has had a night. We are a three-person team started by me and Coca. We have the addition of Sarah, who joined us. I don't remember when. I feel like you've been with us forever, which is a great thing, but I don't know if it's been months. Must be months. We're three people coming to you every day live, 8 a.m. Eastern, every day on the Nothing Personal with David Samson YouTube channel, no matter what happens. And when you have a daily show, life can sometimes happen. And last night, boy, did it ever. I am watching the game. I'm watching Thunder. Everything's going fine. I'm on my phone. I've got multiple screens. I've got the iPad going. I've got the MacBook Pro. I'm working on the show. I'm texting. I'm tweeting. I'm responding. And then crickets. My phone went black. I assumed it had just turned off, so I did the button and the reset and this, that. Nothing. I'm hearing noises. My phone rings. I hear the Schitt's Creek. I can't answer it. I hear texts coming in. Can't see them. I then spent the next, wait for it, 4+ hours on with Apple support, on in a chat room trying to figure out what to do with my black screen of death. To make a long story short, it was 3:17 in the morning, and I'm not sleeping because the only alarm I could set, though I don't ever sleep to alarms, was with this iPad, which I've never used as an alarm. Can't miss a live show. So it was another one of those all-nighters. And I thought I had it the worst of anybody. I'm doing Le Batard at 10:15 Eastern today. So I'm trying to fit the Apple Store in between this show and Le Batard, but too risky because it's live at 10:15. So then I have to go after the Le Batard show. So I'm without a phone. I FaceTimed Coca on the iPad, panicked. What do? I did not realize how addicted I was, nor did I realize that my night was not even the worst night of our Nothing Personal team, which normally I would say that would go to Coca. Poor Sarah fell down a flight of subway stairs. She's okay. Don't worry. But she's plain hurt. So finally, she has earned her bona fides. Congratulations, Sarah. You are officially part of the Nothing Personal team where through hell or high water, Chris Pine, doesn't matter if you're sick, doesn't matter if you're hurt, doesn't matter if you got problems in your personal life, your professional life, at 8 a.m. we post. And there she is. I can't figure out why she keeps falling down the stairs. And it's not a medical condition because I wouldn't make fun of that. It's not vertigo. It's not lack of coordination. She's athletic. It's bad luck. It's not paying attention. Does anyone else have an issue walking down the street with people who their head is in their phone, addicted as I am, though I don't text and walk? It's a pretty simple rule. Don't text and drive. Don't text and walk. Don't text and bike. Don't do anything that involves your motor skills when you're texting other than the old thumbaroos. That's all you should be doing. I didn't ask her during the pre-show whether she was texting while falling down the stairs. It's strange to be addicted to anything. I have such empathy, and I don't have a lot of empathy, but I can really feel what it is to be addicted and have that thing taken away. Whatever it is, whether it's a person, a device, a drug, whatever it is, I'm addicted to my phone. I'm addicted to my phone. Maybe that's the first step to recovery. Maybe what I should do is go to a place where you don't have a phone. And the reason I wanted a phone, I was going through the schedule release on my phone, going through it with Coca, because I wanted to be like everybody else yesterday. For whatever reason, I wanted to have an interest in this NFL juggernaut that makes me insane and jealous. Where the schedule release, now all the teams feel pressured to do videos. Shout out to the Los Angeles Chargers. Coca, I don't know if we have it because I forgot to mention it. So, of course, we don't have it, nor why would you think to have it? The Chargers, their schedule release involved the Kansas City Chiefs place kicker who is having a bad moment. We did a show on him yesterday. Butker, the guy who gave the commencement speech, the misogynistic POS who wants everyone to think the way he thinks. There's nuance there, and we're going to get to it because, yes, I did hear from many of you thinking that I did not properly treat that commencement speech with the gravitas that it deserved, and that I was far too jocular, because that is how it should be. I think people very much confuse and conflate the concept of free speech, which I am in favor of and I've discussed, and the concept of teams and their right to have certain players on them. You can't get rid of a player for saying something. Want to bet? You can't get rid of a player for thinking something. Want to bet? I can get rid of a player for whatever I want. Doesn't matter. It's performance. Oh, he's the best place kicker of all time. Nope, missed one in preseason. See you later. So I'm looking at the schedule release and I'm thinking about what's interesting to me. The videos, yeah, they're fun to watch. Pretty cool. Look at that. Way to go, Coca. They put Butker in the kitchen. Remember, he said only women are in the kitchen. My wife understands her role in the kitchen. I heard from someone on Twitter, Coca. Oh, I didn't even tell you this. In all of my anger of having the black screen of death, somebody DM'd me at David P. Samson, and I appreciated it, and I responded to it. And the DM was, hey, David, I work. My wife doesn't. We had kids, and we made the decision for her to be a stay-at-home mother and to take care of the kids and the family. And I find that job to be just as hard as the job I do. We sacrifice a bit in money, but what we make up for is in mothering and family, etc. And I said, of course you're right. A decision that is made where a woman or a man, I don't care if it's a stay-at-home dad, a stay-at-home mom, a decision made by a family to do what they want to do, to allocate resources, to allocate time, live and let live. I'm all in. I don't want fat shaming. I don't want race shaming. I don't want opinion shaming. I don't want faith shaming. You want to stay at home? Great. I'm all in. But don't make me feel badly if I don't want that. And in our society, oh, you don't want kids? Oh, there must be something wrong with you. Oh, you're not going to stay at home with the kids? You're going to go back to work? Oh, there must be something wrong with you. That was my point. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to have a very hard time getting into rhythm this year. And this is a huge year for the Chiefs. And it got me thinking, they're trying to three-peat. And it got me thinking about rhythm in football. Rhythm used to be you play every Sunday. There was some question, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock. If you're an East Coast team and you go to the West Coast, you're going to play at 4 o'clock East Coast time, 1 o'clock West Coast time. Generally, those were the windows, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Hey, we'll do a couple Saturday games toward the end of the season. That's pretty special. And Monday Night Football. But if you're good, you're on a couple Monday nights. If not, you're on 0. We have a sporting class that we recorded that is going to come out not until Friday. So a couple days from now, you're going to hear us talk. Skipper, Pablo, and myself are going to talk about Netflix. We're going to talk about the NFL. But something that occurred to me, we're talking about Christmas. We're going to be jolly. The Chiefs have games every day of the week this season except Tuesday. Just think about that. They're going to play Monday. They're going to play Wednesday. Hello, Christmas. Thursday, Friday, Black Friday, Saturday when there's Saturday games, Sunday, and Monday. That leaves Tuesday. So there's a bunch of teams that are playing a bunch of games within a short period of time because of these Christmas Wednesday games. Christmas is on a Wednesday after all, but don't let that stop Roger from selling packages. You know what'll come next? How about a leap year game? Just do a game. There's no season going on, but let's bring two teams back together, not have them in shape. We'll call them in from the off season. We'll sell it for $80 million, and it'll be on Paramount Plus. As a matter of fact, we're going to make our season 365 days. They're ready. I was going to say Coca. Goodell is already talking about week 19, game 18. Too much is never enough, but don't sell me player safety matters. Zip it. You don't give a flying rat's ass about player safety in the NFL. I'm in. You want to make as much money as possible. And the players do share because of the way the salary cap is and the way revenue sharing goes with the players. It is more revenue in football, the more money going to players, the higher the cap. All of it's related. But I don't like hiding behind, hey, we really care. We're putting millions and millions of dollars into concussion studies. Playing a football game, if you speak to any football player, will tell you it's like being in a car accident. It takes multiple days to recover and then to prepare. Maybe the quality of the games will be worse because there's not enough film room time, not enough prep time, not enough practice time. Think the NFL cares about that? Put on your uniform and get out there. It's Christmas Day. Everyone's going to be hammered. They're going to be betting. They don't really care if it's a quality game. I mean, we'd rather it not be 69-3, but that's fine as long as the over-under was 71.5. I'm tired of leaning into Aaron Rodgers. What is it? I guess it's the Tucker Carlson crowd. Thank Coca for saving an hour and a half of my life. I only read the summary. I didn't watch it, so I can't comment directly other than to say Aaron Rodgers is still somehow a North Star for the NFL. Played 4 downs last year, has been in the news for all the wrong reasons. 69.4% of the time when you're reading about Aaron Rodgers, it's bad. And I don't mean because I don't agree with his views or his takes. I don't care. Have your own takes, have your own views. But stop making us all feel like crap for having our views. The Jets have 6 primetime games, plus they're playing that early international game, 9:30 a.m. You're going to have a lot of Aaron Rodgers fans staying up all night the night before doing that Iowa, waking up in time to watch that 9:30 game. What happens if Aaron Rodgers isn't playing or stinks? Remember how screwed the NFL got last year when the Jets had all those primetime games? Rodgers gets hurt, and you end up with crap games and Al Michaels complaining. Don't you get the feeling that that could happen again? But Netflix will be there. They will be there chronicling everything that is Cowboys, everything that is Giants. They're doing an off-season new show for the Giants. There's a new miniseries that was just bought by Netflix for the Cowboys. We're going to hear all about the Cowboys. The Giants show is, it's Max. Thank you. The Giants show is Max. The Cowboys show is Netflix. How great is that? This is what we talked about in sporting class. Hey, with the NFL, you don't know what channel anything's on, so you have to get all the channels and just make sure you keep hitting streaming. Change networks. There's got to be a last channel thing. Wouldn't it be great if I knew the tech word? A last channel function that it doesn't matter what service you're on. If you're watching a game on Amazon and then you were watching a movie on Netflix, last channel should get you out of Amazon into Netflix right to what you were watching. It used to be that way. It was called cable. Are you going to watch these games on Christmas? Is everybody going to watch these games on Christmas? Are all the Jewish people going to watch it? I guess so. Are all the non-Jewish people going to watch it? I mean, you open presents and then watch games? Are you going to watch football instead of basketball? I think basketball is going to counter program with 5 NBA games. Maybe they'll put the first game of Bron and Bronny against whoever the Lakers would play against the defending champion Knicks. Maybe that'll be the Christmas game, taking eyeballs away from the NFL. Fat chance. I just can't get over the teams. It's Chiefs, Steelers, Ravens, Texans. They each have to play 3 games in 10 days. 3 games in 10 days. Obviously, they play on a Saturday before the Wednesday. You can't play on a Sunday and a Wednesday. So they have all 4 of those teams playing Saturday. And so before the Saturday, they have to play a Sunday. So think about it. They're playing Sunday, then the next Saturday, and then Wednesday. So from Sunday to Wednesday, 3 games. I'm sure they're going to feel just perfect by Christmas Day. I wonder exactly how they're going to manage to evaluate the quality. And the scheduling people, it used to be very difficult to figure out scheduling. Now it's sort of easy who you're going to have play Christmas. Those teams have to play each other on the Saturday, if you think about it, because they're the ones playing Wednesday. So all four on Wednesday have to play the Saturday before, and they can't play each other, so they got to play the others. And by the way, they're doing that up against CFP, the college football playoff. So on December 21st, you can watch the college football playoff. You can watch the Saturday NFL games. Then when it comes to Wednesday, you're going to get NBA. You're going to get Christmas games and NBA games. It's really something. Do you think Mahomes appreciates the fact? Is he on the road Christmas, I think? I think he is. And does he also have, so he's away for Christmas. So by definition, I bet you in their union deal, you can have the same team away on Christmas Day and away on Thanksgiving Day. So I would assume that none of those four teams are playing on Thanksgiving, the ones who are playing Christmas. It's like when you take a shift in Grey's Anatomy. Hey, are you working Christmas? Yeah. Oh, but I got Thanksgiving off. Well, that's very nice. I'm a little worked up right now. I'm tired. I'm annoyed. I'm planning. I'm not distracted because I'm very locked in on the show. You have to be the way we do the show. But there is no doubt that there's a level of anxiety I have. My palms, the reason I know I'm sweating a little more than normal is that I have a desk in front of me and I keep putting fingerprints on it because my palms are a little clammy because I'm trying to work out the day. I've got so much to do today and I've got to work in something I didn't plan on working in. And when that happens, it can throw off your entire day. And I've got stuff I've just got to get done at certain times, like certain appointments. But I can't go a day without a phone. How will I be able to check out all of my corrections? That's a terrible, terrible transition. I'm sorry, Matt. Let me try that again. 4869. Hello, I'm David Samson. Thank you for contacting me on X or wherever you find me, davidsamsonpodcast.com. I love when you send me corrections. Yes, I do get stuff wrong. We do a 50-minute show. Nary a note, nor a phone, but definitely some bruised coccyxes. The Jaguars only play one home game in London. One of the other games in London, they're playing two games in London. I said it was two home games they're losing. And their new stadium deal, where they're putting in $625 million, they're now only going to be allowed to play one home game away. They're only playing one home game now. So your correction is correct. There is no difference after Jacksonville is putting in all this money into the ballpark. They're still going to get one fewer game than everybody else would get. That correction is correct. Thank you. Let's talk NBA. Who's happy? Raise your hand if you're happy there's no more 10:30 Eastern games or even any more 9:30 Eastern games. Those are late for normal people. I hear people in the business. I was at Meadowlark yesterday recording a show, and I ran into Charlotte and Amin from Oddball, which is a great show if you want to check it out. New producer, doing great. And they were bemoaning the fact that they're staying up so late to watch games, and then they have to record. I smiled. There's late MLB games every night, and the season goes 6 months. There's no off days. You could watch baseball till 1 a.m. every day, regular season. I understand why they're tired, but hey, this is your time. If you're a basketball podcast, you're in the playoffs. Let's go. I mean, they're totally jacked up, full of energy, but they're tired. It's late for most people. Did you watch the Thunder Mavs? It ended just around midnight. Luka Doncic had a 30-point triple-double. The Mavs won Game 5 on the road. Total despondency for SGA and the rest of the Oklahoma City Thunder fan base and the players. The Mavs get to go home for a Game 6 to make it to the conference finals, to get one step closer to my wait to see coming true and having Luka win a title before Trae Young. I don't know that they will get by Oklahoma. And if they do, I don't know that they will get by the winner of Denver, Minnesota. And if they do, they will get by Boston. boy, was I down on Boston. I didn't even tell Charlotte about it. She's obviously a Boston person. I was going to call up Will Middlebrooks, but I didn't. I don't really understand the Celtics, except when I think about the best teams I've ever seen in baseball. Listen to this theory that went through my brain watching the Celtics play around with the Cavaliers, an absolutely injured team. No Donovan Mitchell, no Allen, just nobody playing. I got to play alongside Mobley. The spread was 15.5 points, and the Celtics had a small lead the whole game. They do a spurt. The Cavs would get back in. Eventually, the Celtics won by 15. They didn't cover by that hook. But the thing that I look for in good teams that make them great in championship is always back to Jordan. It's the killer instinct. When you're down, I'm going to put a knee on you to get you even further down. When I'm up 20, I'm going to be up 30. When I'm up 30, I want to beat you by 50. When I'm up 3-0, I don't want to play a fifth game. I want to sweep you. When I have a chance to eliminate you, you're done. The Celtics, to me, just don't look, and maybe it's because of the sometimes superstars who aren't intense. You can mistake them for being disinterested. Maybe the young coach, that happens. That's possible. But you're playing a team like Cleveland, and they're requiring, Marcus Morris did you see him hit all those threes? It was insane. And the other kid was hitting the threes, whose name totally escapes me. I want to say Jackson Merrill, but that's the rookie in baseball. I don't remember the name. That's really terrible. I can picture him. He's got the hard part. He's probably a 5'11" white guy on the Cavaliers. I'm sorry. Sorry, sir. But yes, you hit some good shots. So I just don't think the Celtics, they win the series 4-1. But how are you going to win a title when you look like that? Yes, it was Sam Merrill. I got the last name right. That's funny. I got to start doing more mind-altering things because my memory is too good now. At my age, I should be forgetting stuff. What bothered me about the Celtics game? Just the Celtics, the way they looked. But I'm also predisposed to not like the Celtics. I'm a New Yorker. And I was grumpy about it until I read the post-game article. And I went on Twitter, not on the phone. Or maybe my phone was still working at that point. And all anyone's talking about with Cleveland, the game hadn't been over for 5 minutes. And the talk is Donovan Mitchell. What's he going to do? Well, he's under contract. No. What's he going to do? Where's he going to demand a trade? Give me the top 5 destinations for Donovan Mitchell. Let's go, ESPN. I want it right now. Get me an insider to tell me where Donovan Mitchell's going. The guy hadn't changed out of his game clothes yet. I wonder whether he comes to the arena and wears the same clothes on the bench that he wore to the arena and then wears them out or to fly back to Cleveland. Or when you're not dressing for a game, do you have an outfit you wear on the bench, but then you shower because you're sitting next to all these schwitzy guys? I've been thinking about that watching this with players who are not playing and they want to be on the bench around their teammates. You're right next to them. You're right up in Garland's face. There's a great relationship. That's going to last a long time. And after the game, don't you need to shower? So I think that Donovan Mitchell was in a only game outfit. So it was his uniform last night. But no sooner can he get out of the shower, we have a top 5 list. He's going to go to the Heat. He's going to go to the Nets. He's going to go to the Lakers. Him, Bronny, and LeBron, and AD. Ain't no stopping them now. Miami Heat are going to make a big move and pair him with Jimmy and Bam. Not sure exactly. Oh, they'll have to trade Hero again. That'll work. Hero, Duncan Robinson, 3 first-round picks, and Pat Riley's closet for Donovan Mitchell. He's under contract for a year. Then he has a player option. And the reason why this is even being discussed is that he's eligible for a $200 million 4-year extension. And the question that people are asking in Cleveland is, does he want us? Yes, I took my cynic pill today, but don't you think that we're a little past equilibrium, a little past center point when we've got a player under contract And still that's not enough. Our fan base wants us to sign players to long-term deals. All right, we'll sign them, but they then want to leave. So it's still year to year anyway. Then screw it. Why should we guarantee money to players who, if they stink, they get the guaranteed money, when if they don't stink, they could use their empowerment to leave our team anyway? Don't tell me that I have to sign these guys. Completely worked up over it. Mitchell's going to stay on the Cavaliers. Who's kidding who? I think he lives in LeBron's house. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know that. Nothing personal pick of the day. Presented by DraftKings Fantasy Sports. Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with code Samson. Because life's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours. The picks for Thursday night. We've got the Houston Astros going against the Oakland A's. You may be concerned about lane 205. The Astros, with their one remaining healthy, not suspended starting pitcher, Javier has no choice but to win every time he's got the ball. Look for Javier to go 5+ innings, which this day and age is not nothing. And the Astros will beat the Athletics. Pick number 2, presented by DraftKings Fantasy Sports. Tonight, we've got the Denver Nuggets playing the Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota is home for a Game 6, trying to even the series and send it back to Denver for a deciding Game 7. The first 4 games of this series had the road team winning, and that stayed the same until Game 5, when the Nuggets were finally able to hold home court. Minnesota will not follow suit. They do not have an answer for Jokic. Murray will not have the type of game, mediocre game, that he had in Game 5, and you will see the Denver Nuggets win for the 3rd straight time in Minnesota and take the other 9,997 lakes with them back to Denver for the Eastern Conference Finals. 4-8-69. Back to Denver for the Western Conference Finals. Nuggets +2 over the T-Wolves. Astros -205 over the A's. Those are your nothing personal picks of the day, presented by DraftKings Fantasy Sports. We did not do well yesterday. We had the Thunder over the Mavs. I'm so disappointed in the Thunder and what they did. So disappointed. We lost that. I think it's time to realize that the Twins are never going to beat the Yankees. I think that's it. I think I just have to never take the Twins over the Yankees and pretend that every regular season game is a postseason game. Not care that Pablo Lopez is a better pitcher than Marcus Stroman. Not care or be seduced by the -122. We were on such a heater, and losing 2 just blows that. So we're going to recover today. But we are 65-73 as the Twins lost, and so did the Thunder. When we come back, it's Thursday. We get to review a movie from our top 100. There are still people confused about where to find my top 100. Don't be confused. DavidSamsonPodcast.com. You can get tickets to the live shows, Chicago on July 1st, St. Louis on June 25th. You can see shows, you can get cool merch, and you can look at our top 100 list. You can look at every word of the day, every pick of the day. It's all there in the tab. I'd like to share my screen with you, but I don't have one. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Nothing Personal. Hi. You just caught me taking a sneak peek to see if anything's going on the iPad, seeing whether I'm hearing from anyone in the chat room how to fix my phone. If you didn't hear the beginning of the show, it's not been a great day for the Nothing Personal family. But here we are. In the next 21 minutes, we got a lot to cover. So I want to get to the Truman Show right now. The Truman Show is a very meaningful movie to me on 5 levels. And I wanted to give you those levels, or as many of them as I can, in the time allotted for this section. Number 1, being willing to do what others aren't. Remember, Jim Carrey believes that nobody ever does anything. And he decided that he was going to leave his town, his island. That's major. Be willing to do what others aren't. 2, the desire of people to be on camera or not to be on camera is a fascinating decision that speaks to a personality in ways that other traits cannot be examined, especially today with social media, with all the reality TV. Do you want to be the center of attention or do you not? The only important thing is to know which one you are and to embrace it. I like being the center of attention. Coca does not. 3, the concept of the Truman Show, as directed by one of my favorite directors. Laura Linney's in that movie. Ed Harris, his performance is hard to imagine. He plays God, controlling everything. The brilliance of the concept. It is something, it's got to be over 20 years old. Coca, I assume it's a 90s movie. Could be close to 30 years old. The concept of whether or not we are all, and it's now become part of the nomenclature, part of what are the fabric of our life. Are we currently somebody's Truman Show? Think about that concept for 1 second. Back in 1998, we watched a movie and we thought to ourselves, this could never happen. This is a great movie concept. Only 26 years later, there's people wondering, are we a simulation? Is this somehow somebody's set and we are just actors? Unbeknownst to us, are we all Jim Carreys? If you've never seen it, you're so lucky. If you haven't seen it in a long time, revisit it. It will grow on you. It gets better over time. I watched it this week, and I told you I watch Truman Show, I don't know, 4 times a year for sure. That's only every 3 months. So for sure I do it. It's one of my list. I should come up with this list. Movies that I will watch no matter what. That just during the course of a year, I haven't seen that in blank time, a few months. I'd have to watch it. Truman Show is that for me. So you're welcome. Okay, can you bring that spreadsheet up, please? What do I get to watch next week? I got to get my glasses. Coca, hit the button. Parenthood. Steve Martin. Keanu Reeves. Joaquin Phoenix. Diane Wiest. Is it not Parenthood? What number is it? 69. We finally did it. I didn't know Parenthood was my number 69 movie. That's funny when the lights go off and there's Diane Wiest. Hey, what is that? Oh, Grandma. Do you like roller coasters? Oh, I love the roller coaster. Get me out of that carousel. I'm going to review Parenthood right now. I'm going to watch. Parenthood will be watched today. Ted Danson's wife, Mary Steenburgen from Back to the Future. She's in it. My God, I love that movie. That's pretty low for Parenthood to be number 69. Truman Show is pretty low at 40. The following segment is courtesy of David Samson and the entire Nothing Personal family. We would like to teach major league pitchers something. If you are in baseball and a professional, and I know there's a lot of clubhouses watching Nothing Personal. So if you are in a clubhouse right now, please saunter on down to your training room. Take a look at the bucket in the training room. It's probably on a cart. It could be on a counter. Ask yourself why there's a bunch of suntan lotion. Ask yourself how these pitchers are mixing rosin, which you know is in the back room just to the left. There's extra rosin. You know where that is. And you know exactly all the clubbies because you clean stuff and you know there's certain stuff you don't clean. You know that. Then walk the 10 steps to the dugout and look to see where the starting pitcher sits and then go to the bullpen. Gentlemen and ladies, please find a better way to cheat. The Houston Astros, who in theory found the best way to cheat. Now they're just ordinary Their no-hitting pitcher from April 1st, Joey Espada's first victory. Remember Blanco? That pitcher who got the no-hitter who you never heard of? Well, he's now suspended 10 games for the sticky stuff. He's saying, oh, it's just rosin. Nope. I've seen it all, guys. You know very well it's not just rosin. You know the rules. You know how to get it stickier. I'm not saying he's a bad human being. Dana Brown, the GM, said, Ronel Blanco's a good human being, a good dude, and he's worked his butt off to get into the starting rotation. I think he sees it as, look, I don't want to be out. I don't want to extend this any longer. I want to get back to the business of pitching. What the hell are you talking about? There was a pre-negotiated deal. The sticky stuff, when the umpire kicks you out for sticky stuff, you're suspended 10 games. Stop with this, oh, holier than thou, he chose not to appeal. It's a bunch of horse hockey. There is no appealing. You get the 10 games if you are kicked out for the sticky stuff. Hard stop. Don't try to tell me what a good dude he was. He may be a good dude. Never met him. I'm not talking about him as a dude. I'm talking about him as a cheater. And don't say that you don't know what your pitchers are doing. You know. Just say, hey, we got a no-hitter out of it. He'll miss a start. Worth it. Let's just acknowledge. Poor Joey Espada had to deal with it, the manager of the Astros. Not easy to be in the Astros organization, have to deal with someone getting suspended for cheating, though, of course, everybody does it. Though everybody was stealing signs, too. It looked to me, Espada said, when I grabbed the glove, that there was some rosin. You're not allowed to use rosin on your non-pitching hand, and that's what it looked like to me. A little sticky. Let me tell you something. The umpire came out and said, dude, I've never seen sticky like that. And I go to afternoon movies. I don't know why everyone's making such a big deal of it. I understand. There are certain things. Remember all the years ago with Spider Tack and Garrett Cole? And you want pitchers to have sticky stuff so they have command. If I'm a hitter, I'm fine with sticky stuff because I don't want 100 in my ear, Ray Liotta. I want it right where I can have a chance to hit it if I start swinging on the windup. I don't want to get bonked. Speaking of which, don't feel sorry for George Soler. I forgot to tell you about this video, Coca. He's the free agent who signed with the San Francisco Giants, former Marlin. He's been hurt. He's been fine. The Giants have been underperforming, whatever. They beat the Dodgers last night, whatever. He was in the batting cage taking BP without a helmet, and he hit one top of the cage. It hit him on the head, hurt his head, escorted out by the trainer. I can't tell you the number of times I had a problem. Remember when Ken Griffey Jr., he always wears his hat backwards? I didn't like that, wear your hat forwards, but I don't like taking BP without a helmet. Oh, it's BP. I don't want to wear a helmet. I don't want to mess up my hair. It's uncomfortable. I don't care. Wear a helmet. Baseballs are hard. We invented this thing to protect your head so you don't miss games and get paid not to play. I have no idea why that just got into my head. Self-inflicted injuries drive me crazy. That's why. Remember my story where I don't care about errors? I care about mental lapses, not physical ones. The ball goes through legs. It goes through legs. It happens. I'm looking at the back of your jersey as an outfielder. I'm not happy, but it happens. Don't you miss the cutoff, man. And don't you throw to the wrong base. And don't you forget the number of outs. And don't you do something that will potentially put you in harm's way. There's a reason we put a rider in your contract, don't ride an ATV or don't play racquetball. There's a reason. Not because we're trying to stop you from living your life. We don't want to pay you not to play. Wear a frickin' helmet in the batting cage, and please don't do anything with sticky stuff that is going to get you suspended. MLB's been trying to develop its own sticky stuff. Let's go. It's been 2 years. Or change the rule where it's the rosin and the sunscreen is fine, but the spider tack is not. But instead, we've got umpire's discretion. So every time there's a player suspended, the umpire comes out and says, I've never seen sticky like I've seen that. Eventually, we're going to run through the entire group of umpires. And then it'll have to be, I've never seen sticky as bad since the last time I kicked a guy out. We got to find a way. Go read The Athletic. There's a great article. I think it was Jason Stark and Ken Rosenthal, though I always would default to them, about ways to improve starting pitching, ways to change the rules to get starters to go deeper into games, and how terrible it is that starting pitching is so bad and so unable to throw a complete game shutout. My God, that's a leading story on CBS or DraftKings. That would be huge. So that's my reminder. I got another reminder for you. Caitlin Clark, she's playing Saturday in New York against the Liberty. Are you excited to go to the game? I would say by the numbers, somebody's excited. 2 million people watched her debut. I was one of them. Then when she got taken out of the game, I would go watch the hockey or the basketball. Try to go back. I wanted to see her score. 2.13 million people watched. I don't know how to put that in perspective except to tell you that's more people than watch maybe the main professional sports other than football certain times. How about NHL Stanley Cup playoffs? 1.99 for a Bruins-Panthers game. It's major. Just letting you know that the WNBA getting a number like that is worth talking about, except here's the problem. When you have 2 million people watching Caitlin Clark in her debut against the Connecticut Sun, you have a great press release. And you don't put in the press release that game 2 of the doubleheader had 464,000 viewers. That means 1.8 million of you said, 1.7 million of you said, hey, good to see you, Caitlin. Hi, I'm David. I'm one of them. Really don't need to see the Mercury Aces game. Yeah, but what percentage of the 1.7 million people who watched Clark who didn't watch the Aces are going to become fans of the WNBA and watch games that don't involve Caitlin Clark? I'll tell you the number. It starts with a Z and ends with a 0. Why do I say that? Because building fan bases, it is very hard to do it based on a specific star. The NBA took Magic, they took Bird, they had teams that were good. They had this need in the NBA back in the late 70s, early 80s to figure out what to do with their league. There were issues. They didn't have the right broadcast deals. They needed stars. Then they needed the stars to be on teams that were going to play throughout the course of the season. The WNBA, an established league with the reigning champs and current title favorites, I believe, are they going for a three-peat as well, the Las Vegas Aces this year? The first step is getting Caitlin Clark into the league. The second step is getting it so that Caitlin Clark is not the driver. These leagues are always looking for what is the hook. But it's different when the NBA uses Yao Ming to get China, or when football is trying to get England and they're trying to expand internationally with teams, or when you're trying to sell your individual player in baseball, Ohtani, to get baseball stranglehold into Japan, or what they did with Ichiro. But how does it move the needle domestically? I'm not talking about jerseys sold by Clark. I'm not talking about people who tuned in to watch game 1 or people who are going to watch her play the Liberty. I got to see her the first time she's in New York. I want to see if the 10 turnover game, was that a flash in the pan? Was that the precursor of something to come? But it's not converting me into a fan of caring about what happens with the other teams. So what do I do about it? I've got a solution. Caitlin Clark's on the Indiana Fever. She's on a deal right now. And it's very nice that she's on the Indiana Fever. And I am not in any way poo-pooing Indiana. But we need, the way Magic went to LA and Bird went to Boston, I need Caitlin Clark to move to the New York Liberty. The New York Liberty need to be the focus team in the WNBA. The New York Liberty need to be the best team in the WNBA. New York Liberty need to be the team because New York is the center of the universe when it comes to teams. It's why the NBA needs the Knicks to beat the Pacers. And people can come at me, and they have, Coca. They've come at me. How would you explain the Knicks' futility since 2000? How would you explain if they want the Knicks to be good? They want the Knicks to be good. They can't force Isaiah Thomas to make good decisions. They can't force the signings to be good or for Jim Dolan to be better. Wanting it and having it happen are two different things. You can influence certain things when you can influence them. There was no way to influence Caitlin Clark not going to Indiana. They could have asked her to hold out a year. They could have seen about a trade. But in order for the WNBA to take the next step, and it will, I do not believe that Caitlin Clark will finish her career in Indiana. And I don't believe that the Indiana Fever will become the center North Star of the WNBA. But if you think that overnight this change is going to happen, you are sorely, sorely mistaken. We gave you a wait to see. Wait to see is when we tell you something's going to happen. If it does, great. If it doesn't, fine. It was last month, April 13th. And we told you that Caitlin Clark's first game on TV would have more viewers than the Sunday night MLB game of that week. Guess what? The Sunday night MLB game on ESPN between the I don't remember and the I don't remembers, it could have been Braves Mets. Caitlin Clark's first game outdrew them. Caitlin Clark's first game outdrew Major League Baseball. How do you think they feel about that? All right. Before we go, I want to catch you up on something that's going on in baseball, and I want to get your opinion of it and think about it. Do you want your team to be owned by a corporation? Are you happy up in Toronto? Are you happy down in Atlanta? What about you in Green Bay? Do you like that versus having one singular owner where you can be critical of Steve Cohen or understand what Jeannie Buss is doing or Dan Gilbert or Matt Ishbia? The Atlanta Braves are owned by you if you own stock in them because their stock's available. Part of Liberty Media, they got removed the Atlanta Braves. They are a standalone entity. And there have been some rumors that Liberty is going to sell them. Why would a public company sell a performing asset? The Braves are a performing asset. They are a profitable asset. You don't have corporate ownership without profit. Corporations do not own teams for the love of the game. They own them to make money. The Braves make money. They found a way to make money through all the ancillary development around Truist Field, have it not subject to revenue sharing, but it's part of the revenue of their company. Revenue that is disclosed to your shareholders, that is your P&L, that is totally different than revenue sharing eligible dollars. Why would the Braves then be sold when they are profitable? The job of a CEO of a company is to look at every asset of that company and to figure out when is the best time to sell the asset, to grow the asset, to invest in the asset, to hold on to the asset but not invest in the asset. That's the job in the C-suite. If the Atlanta Braves are sold, and there are rumors that they're going to be on the market, that is a negative for MLB because the only way Liberty Media acts is in the best interest of Liberty Media. And if they feel that they are at a height of what the asset's worth and they take advantage of that and sell it, it means that's a problem going forward in baseball. You don't want them selling. You want them continuing to make money year over year and watching the value of the asset grow and the return to the shareholders increase. That's the goal. The problem is the reality is different. Wait to see. The Atlanta Braves will be put on the market no later than the end of 2025 because the new collective bargaining agreement between that and between the problem with local television revenue, the problem with maybe the national television revenue deals, we've got a situation where a corporate owner acting in his best interest, their best interest period, realizes that selling is more profitable than the annual operating income. Wait to see. The Braves will be put on the market no later than the end of 2025. It's just business. This is nothing personal.